Hello, my name is Kruk. I'm a student of CSC 380, and I'm going to show you my second order Markov model. Let's say we do male, size length between 2 and 20, and we're going to generate 10 names. It's going to take a little bit of time. Should be pretty fast though. Okay, we're gonna do it again. Female, let's say this time just a name of 7 letters. There we go. So what happens in my program is the program opens up asking the user to input specific inputs required, such as male or female, the length of the names, and the number of names generated. Once that is done, we create a class called second order Markov model, which is these 2 files over here. Looking into our second order Markov model, the important function to note is the generated names function here, which is what actually creates our new names. So we're going to create our class, basically initializes our tables and totals count, and then it runs this function filled with file, which basically you pass it the file specified, and then it fills the table with probabilities. Over here we store the word in our class just so we could check it against it, and then from there we start appending underscores, and then we start generating our counts, our total counts based on the previous 2, so it generates our total counts here. This function here, alphabet to lower index, are basically just 2 functions down here to make it convenient to going back and forth between ASCII numbers and alphabet numbers. So the letter A can be represented as 97 in ASCII or 0 in alphabet. Going back to our function, okay, so we gathered up all of our counts, and then this iteration right here, we basically take our total counts at each array index and divide it by the row total. So we get our probability, and it will be row stochastic. Okay, so at this point, our table of probabilities is built, and then from that, we run the function generate names, which returns a vector that holds all of our names generated. Within the function generated names, each calls an individual function called generate name, which generates one random name, one new name. And what happens here is we start off with, in generated name, we start off with a blank string. We prepend 2 underscores, and then from that, this function right here actually gets the character that is probably going to come next, and it runs this function get chars from probabilities. And the way it works here is, so we generate a random number, and then for each character in our probability row, it's going to accumulate its probability into some variable, and then if that accumulation is greater than the random number, it's going to return that character. And if it's not, then it's just going to go to the next index, and then it's just going to accumulate again to the score, and it's going to keep doing that until something is returned. And then what is returned is an index, and what happens from that is the index is converted into its alphabet symbol, so it's just going to keep appending characters. And this loop, while loop, will break once there are 2 underscores at the end. From that, we just do some string cleaning up, removing the underscores and capitalizing the first letter, and then we check if the name is valid, if it's the correct length, and if it does not exist in the name of the file list of names. And the way it works is just a binary search function I've written down here, and then it does that. If it's valid, then we have a new word, and then we return it, and it just keeps looping until we get the number of names needed. And this part right here is, if the name generated is already in the list of generated names, we just disregard it and then try again, and that's it. Oh, and it gets printed out at the end once it's all generated.